Everything you need to know in less than 5 minutes. Ashe is one of the highest utility bot laners in the game, as most marksmen only provide damage and nothing else. You should pick this champion especially when your team composition lacks reliable engage tools, so you can fill that niche. Ashe's passive is what really defines her as a champion, and in combination with your high attack range, you can kite and chase very easily. Please don't let the crit modifier on your passive confuse you. You scale just as hard with crit as any other bot laner, but your damage is more evenly distributed and unaffected by chance and randomness. Your Q rewards you for auto-attacking consistently over the course of extended fights, which means you will deal the most damage when you commit to actually following up on your engages. W does not only provide solid poke damage and catch potential, but it is also a strong utility tool. It is an extremely long-range skill shot on a low cooldown, which means you can safely use it to check bushes and fog of war. Ashe's E is a rather unusual spell to have on a marksman, as it comes with literally zero combat value. However, it is still highly useful since in lane it allows you to scout for the enemy jungler, which means not only does it protect you from being ganked, but it protects your allies as well. After the lane phase, you best use that ability to scout for vision around the key objectives of Dragon and Baron. Face-checking enemy territory means certain death for any AD carry, and Ashe's E is yet another spell in your repertoire that protects you from running into your doom. Your ultimate is Ashe's biggest selling point and arguably not only the strongest ultimate of any bot laner, but probably one of the strongest spells in the game, period. With this tool you can catch enemies that are out of position literally from anywhere on the map, assuming you have good aim. But even when your opponents don't overextend, allowing you to take advantage of obvious mistakes, you can still use this spell in teamfights to single-handedly turn the tides of the match. It serves as both engage and disengage, which makes Ashe surprisingly safe to play considering you don't have any mobility spells like Ezreal or Tristana. As strong as this ability may be though, it is still a skill shot and therefore can be dodged. You will get the most reliable value out of it when you use it as follow-up engage to lock down an enemy completely after they've been hit by your allies' crowd control. However, even the slow from your passive will already allow you to hit this spell more consistently, as its hitbox is rather wide and impossible to sidestep while being slowed. If your opponent does not have a mobility spell in a situation like this, you are pretty much guaranteed to hit them. Keep in mind that forcing out an enemy's flash in order to dodge this spell is still a favorable exchange for you, because your ultimate's cooldown is far lower than a flash cooldown. From your ability set, it becomes clear that your optimal strategy is to first catch an enemy with your crowd control, and then chase them down with your Q enabled by attack speed. Therefore, your optimal rune page is Lethal Tempo, Presence of Mind, Legend Bloodline and Coup de Grace, with Biscuit Delivery and Approach Velocity secondary. Your shards are Attack Speed, Adaptive Force and Armor. Lethal Tempo is by far the best keystone you can get because it will activate right as you catch up to your enemy after you've hit them with your crowd control, and then allows you to almost immediately unlock your Q with its bonus attack speed. Ashe is designed to excel in longer fights, and Lethal Tempo provides the most value in longer fights. Presence of Mind and Biscuit Delivery are necessary to bolster your mana pool, since Ashe naturally runs out of mana rather quickly. Legend Bloodline is your only source of regeneration, but due to your long range and crowd control you should be able to stay safe enough. Approach Velocity is by far the strongest minor rune you can get on this champion, as it will be active continuously due to your passive and greatly enhances your kiting potential. Some players forego Biscuits in favor of Magical Footwear, which is generally speaking a good rune for AD carries because it accelerates your item build by 300 gold. On Ashe, however, this is a mistake, since you heavily rely on the mana of Biscuit Delivery for the lane phase. Additionally, you need to buy and upgrade boots comparatively early when playing Ashe, as movement speed and attack speed are your two most important stats. You start the game with Doran's Blade and pressing the like button, and after getting your Berserker's Greaves you want to complete Kraken Slayer. Not only does this item have the best stat profile of all the marksman mythics, but it also further rewards you for your attack speed oriented playstyle. From here you complete your core build with Phantom Dancer and Infinity Edge. While buying Hurricane instead of Phantom Dancer is a viable option as your passive gets applied to all three targets simultaneously, Phantom Dancer still provides more value overall. Its passive is like a mini version of Lethal Tempo, and since your keystone allows you to overcap on attack speed, your single target DPS is simply insane with this item. Due to all this emphasis on attack speed, you might wonder why you shouldn't buy Ginzo's Rageblade on this champion. While it would be a good item damage-wise, its crit conversion completely disables the damage on your passive, and it also removes your slow amplification altogether, greatly lowering Ashe's utility. Therefore, Infinity Edge is your best option. After finishing your core build, you want to stack even more crit and attack speed for optimal damage scaling. However, if the enemy team has a lot of assassins with strong target access, you might need to pick one of the more defensive options to compensate for your lack of mobility. Now, if you found that video helpful, you can access an entire playlist of educational content like this by clicking the link on your screen right there.